Hey guys, I'm back. We have a new guest. As I mentioned previously, we're going to have another guest from Helium 10. One awesome guy that knows a lot about PPC and advertising, and maybe he can introduce himself on his own. I'm pretty sure that you watch every video of him on Facebook and on internet. It's Vince. Hi Vince, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm good. How are you, Lazar?
I'm good.
You holding up?
I'm holding up. It's 1 day, 9 hours and 47 minutes, and we had like one breakdown before that for like a couple of minutes. So it's
That's
something like
amazing.
that. It's crazy. Like it's 7 p.m. my time. We have 10 more hours until the end.
Wow. Okay. Lots of coffee.
No, 14. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, a lot of coffee. Well, I slept. I slept for a couple of hours.
Good.
Yeah. I don't know if you know Augustus. He's arranging a lot of live events in Europe. He's probably one of the biggest guys when it comes to live events for Amazon sellers in Europe, and he's having like PPC event, like a huge one. Nice. In Amsterdam every year. Like, I should connect you two guys.
Yeah, you should. The only one I know of is the one in Berlin, which I was considering. The one in Berlin. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember the name of it, but it's definitely one I was considering potentially attending next year, early next year. But of course, that's all changed.
Yeah, well, there might be one conference in Prague, as you mentioned, like in case people are able to join Prague, to come to Prague in March. But
that'd be nice too. I like Prague.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Like, and we like, I shared the screen from the office, and like we have like rotations of people in the office, and like this is one part of the office, obviously. And he was like, "Oh, nice! You hired like actors to join you." I'm like, "You're such a bad person."
It sounds like I would. It sounds like I would get along with Augustus.
Yeah, he's so much fun. You definitely would. So, we are going to like. Do we have a topic? I think we do, but in case we don't, like, I'm pretty sure that you have like one of the biggest topics. Yeah, your platform. Like,
yeah,
that's one of the biggest topics that we should cover. Yeah, and I don't know if you're aware, you're giving away free diamond plans.
Yeah, I heard that we are giving away. Well, you're giving them away. You're sponsoring them. Yeah, so you're giving away what, 5 diamond plans? Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, Cassandra told me about that yesterday. That
it was such a short notice. Like, we were sitting in the office last Wednesday, and like this is maybe 10th time that I'm saying the same sentence, and viewers are probably going to kill me, but I need to tell like you as well. And we didn't know like what to do for Prime Day, and everybody in the team was like, let's do like 48-hour live stream, and I'm like, that's okay.
You guys reached out to me on Sunday.
I told you
on Messenger. I was like, wow,
it's my day off.
Your day off. Of course, it's your day off. That's why you were working.
I'm just kidding. So yeah, it's like, and this is the first stream that we're having like ever. Mm-hmm. So you're in our first stream ever. So welcome. Yeah. So how is Prime Day going for you guys, for your customers? And is it crazy, or is it crazier than any other before because of like different quarter when it's on?
It's interesting. What I've been seeing actually in some of our chat groups, we have quite a few different ones, but it's all depending on the product and the category, of course. But I've been hearing people kind of say, well, obviously the day before Prime Day, so Monday was pretty slow because people were generally not shopping that day. But then yesterday, I mean, it may have changed by now. This was kind of midday that I was looking at some of the feedback, but people were saying that it was actually kind of slow. They were surprised that they weren't seeing more sales, more conversions than they thought they might see. Yeah, so that might be attributed just simply to the fact that I don't know, in my opinion, so many more people are shopping regularly online right now, anyways. That maybe these big 2-day online type events. We'll see, obviously, by tomorrow how that goes. I think Black Friday, Cyber Monday will be the big test coming up for the holidays. That'll be the big test to see what's happening with sales. I expect that one to be bigger anyway because it's right before the holidays. So people are going to be shopping for the holidays. But so far what I've seen is people just kind of saying how they anticipated much higher sales and search volumes than what they're saying. So yeah,
that's something. You're not the first one that says that, like on the stream. Like
Good.
yeah, so that's something that happens to other guys as well. Like this year was so crazy about sales and everything, like boost of e-commerce, and like the question is like, is Prime Day going to be like huge peak, or like is it just going to be like a bump, like above the new average when it comes to e-commerce sales? So we'll see in a day or two.
Yeah, we'll see in a day or two, exactly. Once all 72 hours if we're really sticking to sales attribution windows and things like that, and everything that Amazon does after 72 hours. So yeah, I think by the end of this week we should have a better handle on how effective was Prime Days, right, for a lot of sellers.
Yeah, definitely. So do you want to talk about ads?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell somebody maybe doesn't know? Maybe there's a living person that doesn't know anything about your platform. So maybe you would like to tell us like more about that.
Absolutely.
Or if there is a person that doesn't use Helium 10, like I that's something that I cannot believe that there is a person that doesn't use Helium 10 and is Amazon seller.
They're still out there, and that's actually one of the reasons why we have a promo going on. So our Prime Day special at Helium 10 is for people to try our platinum plan for just $20. So we have a promo going on through midnight tonight. Yeah, 'cause today's the second day of Prime Days. So for anyone who hasn't used Helium 10, or maybe they're a free user, but yeah, there's still some people out there that might not have heard from us or about us in your audience. I would be shocked, but definitely check out helium10.com. The short bridge version is that we've got 20 plus software tools, all designed for Amazon sellers. Everything to help from keyword research for your listings, listing help. We've got everything for indexing, checking your indexing, your ranking for your keywords. And then I came on board about a year ago to build out the PPC tool, so the PPC management tool. So ads is what Lazar has been mentioning, is actually the name of the platform. It's called ads, which stands for Automated Data Solution. So it's not just a snappy name for ads, for advertising. It actually does mean something. So ads by Helium 10. We actually just launched out of beta on the 29th, so at the end of last quarter. So pretty exciting things that we've done with that. With that beta release, what we did was, there's tons of bells and whistles within the platform, but what we did was make our engine that creates rules, that defines our suggestions. We made that open and more editable for a lot of users. So for users that have used the ads platform, they would come in and they would create their campaigns. We have a 3-campaign setup system, for sponsored product campaigns. They could set different parameters like their ACoS and things like that. But once they were set, they were set. And so we actively, after getting feedback from the users, obviously we wanted to be able to open it up so that the users could actually also edit the campaigns that they had built in ads. And so that was the primary thing. But the secondary thing that came out of that was, we had a lot of new ads, users. We have a lot of new users using our PPC management platform that had existing campaigns. They had campaigns they had already been running in Seller Central, and they didn't necessarily want to have to start from scratch. So we also, at the same time, opened it up so that users could take advantage of the rules that we do have in our platform, and then create, pull campaigns and create structures on their own in that same kind of mindset of our 3-campaign structure, which allows us to give negative keyword suggestions and new keyword suggestions. So that is actually what I was going to demonstrate. If you think that might be something that's going to be
absolutely. Do you want to share screen?
Yeah, I can share a screen. Let's go ahead and
absolutely
do that. Share screen. I'm only on one monitor, so it's gonna look weird for a second.
Just a second.
All right. Okay, cool. So now can you see the ads dashboard?
Yep.
All right.
Do you want it like this?
What's that?
Do you want to place it like this, or like just that to see dashboard? I think like it's better to see you as well.
Yeah, do it so that you see me as well, even though I can't. Yeah, see, I can't do it because I'm on one monitor, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's just leave it like this.
Yeah, we're just going to leave the way that you feel less comfortable. I'm kidding.
Leave it the way that I can't see myself. I'm just talking to my dashboard. So, for users that are used to doing their PPC management manually, ads is just a tool that's going to help you, figure that out and do that work and do that research much simpler. So I won't do the whole overview. We won't have time for that, but we have a dashboard. It lets you know things like what your highest campaigns are, highest ACoS campaigns, what your highest spend keywords. You can look at the data, charts if you want. But for brand new users, what I always tell them to do when they first come into our platform, to come here in analytics, because this is just a high level overview of all of your campaigns. So you can look at that data either at the portfolio level, all the way down to the campaign level, ad group level, keyword level, search term level, and product level. So however way you have it organized in Seller Central, and however way you want to look at it here. But two big things I tell users just to do right away is, we all know how cumbersome it is uploading, or downloading, I should say, creating and then downloading search term reports, and then having to go through the search term reports to find, the things that you want to potentially weed out. We just have it with the click of a button. So you have basically all your search terms as 538 search terms across all the campaigns in this account for the past week. So of course you can go further back. We tell users to go back as far as they can. We typically download 90 days worth of data. So go back 90 days and just check to see what are your search terms doing, right? So this is just a real quick and easy way to do that. You can sort by ACoS, you can sort by spend. Most people sort by ACoS because obviously that's a sign of something potentially bad when you see it as high as 100% or 63% here. So this is actually something I would probably want to make a negative. And we make that functionality, we have that functionality. So the search term level is kind of the only area in analytics where you can actually take an action, and that action is making it negative. So you just click on this column here, and it tells you immediately, where you can make this a negative. Now, this is
so you can choose like cat group or campaign.
Yeah,
or like
it depends on how many. So this one will have multiple. So this particular search term, for example, is found in 2. Right? So it's found in 2. Cool. It's found in 2 different campaigns. So I can say, oh, you know what, 40% is not that bad, but 84% is bad. So I'll just make it a negative here in this one, right? So we make it super easy to do that. We also show you the ASINs that are associated with. We treat ASINs like keywords, right? Because they're also, being used potentially by auto campaigns, or if you're in this example, we were targeting it directly. Let's see if this one's also. Yeah, this one's we're targeting it directly. So you wouldn't necessarily need to make this a negative search term because it's an ASIN being targeted, which means we know it's exact. So maybe this is a keyword that I would want to to make negative directly, or sorry, pause in a particular campaign. But either way, it just allows the user to quickly see, however sorts, they can sort by all different kinds of things if they want. We have the new ROAS metric that Amazon recently added. It's the column right next to the ACOS. It really depends on what the user is looking for. Typically, they're looking for bleeders. Obviously, they're looking at, hey, my campaigns ACOSs are way too high. This is where you can go and look for those search terms that are draining your budget, and then immediately take action on them. So we make it super easy. Another way to take action on analytics is their keyword page. Again, these are all the keywords for all campaigns in this particular account. So there's 804 keywords in this particular account, and including ASINs. You can see we have ASINs as targets here. But what's cool here is we have a duplicate button here. So you can quickly just see, hey, how many duplicates do I have across all my campaigns? And why is that important? Well, especially if you have exact match duplicate keywords, like these two. These are both exact, and they're in two different campaigns. One's a sponsored brand campaign and one's not. So that's the difference between those. But let's say you saw multiple keywords that were exact match that were across several campaigns, and then some were performing worse than others. You definitely want to address that, because potentially you're bidding against yourself. Whenever you have a duplicate keyword, you're technically bidding against yourself. But broad keywords is not as problematic, because broad keywords get search terms, right? So those search terms to this particular keyword in this campaign might be a little bit different than the search terms to this particular campaign in this account. So again, just a really quick and easy way, just a click of a button, and you can immediately see how many duplicates do I have running across all my campaigns. So that's just a really quick and easy way to see when users first come in, how to optimize their campaigns. The other cool feature that I like just to talk about, we talk about tacos a lot, total sales and tacos. I have Tacos Tuesdays PPC training sessions now. So we had our first Tacos Tuesday event on the 29th, which is 3 Tuesdays ago now. And it was really, really a fun event. We ended up doing an after party. That was all tacos related. Tacos stands for total ACOS. So it's not just the food. I love tacos, but it stands for total ACOS. So, and what does that mean? So total ACOS is your PPC spend divided by your total sales. Instead of looking at just your ACOS, which is your PPC spend divided by your PPC sales, which you can do here, we also give the user the ability to see what their PPC spend is against their total sales, and what that total ACOS is, or tacos. So it's really only available on the dashboard and not on the page I just showed you, because it's a product level type of metric. But as you can see, typically when you're looking at your total ACOS versus your ACOS, it's always going to be lower because you're adding those organic sales. But we all know in doing PPC campaigns for as long as I've been doing them, that your PPC really does affect your organic sales. Like, the more a user sees your ad or your brand, it becomes something that they recognize, and then maybe down the line they might pick it, and you get an organic sale out of it, or they type in your brand name, even better, and you get an potentially organic name sale out of it. So we do know that PPC does help with PPC. So why not include it, right? Why not include that in your calculations for, how is my account doing? If the holy grail of Amazon, selling on Amazon, is getting those organic sales, and we know that PPC does help, kind of like a flywheel effect with those organic sales, then you really should be looking at your PPC spend against your total sales, which includes your organic. So that's one of the reasons why we talk about tacos as much as we do. But yeah, for any of your listeners or viewers today, Tuesdays, it's called Tacos Tuesday at 10 with events. So each Tuesday at 10 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time, or PDT, whatever it is right now. I do hour-long, basically ask me anything, just like what's on your mind for PPC. typically I'll start with a feature, like a feature in ads. And well, that's the goal, is each week to talk about a feature. And then I just open it up to questions.
Mm-hmm.
So the feature that I actually talked about on this last Tuesday was the edible rules that I was telling you about. So, so basically in Ad Manager, in ads, you have this configure column, and that allows you to see the, any campaigns that you have built in ads, as well as campaigns that you imported, right? So in this example, actually, none of these campaigns were built in ads, right? So I can actually create a campaign. And when I mean built-in ads, it's basically, I'll show you the ad form. So this is our ads form. If you can create a sponsored product, you can create sponsored brands. If users do use our tool to create their campaigns, I'll just enter some random things here. Test. You basically get 3 campaigns at once when you fill this out. So we do that. We do this because we want to have a campaign flow, like a structure, in order to make new keyword suggestions for you. So once you set your parameters, or what your budget is, what your ACoS target is, what your default bid is, you record that. You do your keyword research. You put your keywords in here. Hopefully, you're using Cerebro and Magnet to fill these out. But yeah, once we have that, you basically can create a campaign. We build the 3 campaigns at once in ads. And that gives us the ability then to know that these campaigns are together. They're in a campaign structure, and it gives us the ability to add a flow of keywords from one to the next. So, in this example, auto keyword to research to proven. So, if we find search terms in the auto campaign that are not doing well based on the parameters that you enter here, we're going to suggest them to be negative for that campaign. For keywords that are, or for search terms that are doing well, though, based on the parameters you set, like a search term has 2 sales under 30% ACoS, right? If that search term is not a keyword yet, it's just a search term. So we're going to recommend it become a keyword, and we're going to suggest you add that to that campaign below here, so that the research campaign becomes the place where you get your suggestions from your auto campaign to your research campaign. And then the same thing from the research campaign. These are broad-based keywords in here. Obviously, they
move to proven after time.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. So it flows from one to the next. So the search terms will do the same thing. We'll look for the bad ones, suggest them negative. We'll look for good ones, and then we'll suggest them to go to the next campaign in the flow, which is proven. Which is these are exact match, because by that time they've proven themselves, so to speak. So that becomes the campaign that you can then potentially scale up, because those keywords have proven themselves over time. So that's the approach that we use for our campaign builder, and why we build the 3 campaigns at once. So our editable rules actually follow the same kind of formula. So if I were to have clicked create campaign, then that would be done. I'd have 3 campaigns in here, but they would kind of be locked in that structure that I just created. So actually, no, I can show you. I'm trying to see if I have an example.
By the way, I was thinking
here we go.
While you were showing how to create campaigns and using Cerebro and reverse ASIN research and all that, did you plan at some point, or do you plan at some point to try to at least semi-automate that research and placing it directly to campaigns?
Yes. We are actually in the process of. We recently launched a keyword manager tool in Helium 10. So it's kind of a depository for all the keywords and ASINs that you're using our tools to find and filter. So our campaign builder is actually getting an overhaul. Some of our users may not know this, but we recently acquired Prestazon, which is another PPC advertising tool, and they're probably like 2 years, maybe even 3 years ahead of like where we were in development for ads. So the great thing is we're going to be able to integrate our back ends, and we're planning on redoing our campaign builder.
Okay.
So this will look completely different, potentially by the end of the year. And I'm not going to make any promises, but that's the goal. It's for Q1. But in that reiteration of our builder, we're looking at, hey, we have all these keyword research tools. So how do we integrate those some of those tools into the flow here? So it makes it really simple for users to. So they may not be able to directly open like Cerebro, for example, or Magnet on this page to do their keyword research, but if they've already done their keyword research and then saved that data in our keyword manager, then that's the integration where we would have that the user could designate, these keywords I researched are good for PPC, and it would populate over here into the campaign builder. So lots of interesting things that we have coming up.
That's really awesome. That's like, I didn't want to interrupt you while you were.
No, feel free. Feel free.
It's
any
really
questions?
awesome. And
I can't see any of the questions. So if users are asking questions that you want me to answer,
at this point they're just watching now.
Okay.
Because I'm not really sure that.
Screen.
I really like the idea of like being able to see all of the keywords for all account at once. That's something that tells everybody that you worked on like Google Ads in the past. So that's something that Amazon was missing like so much. You literally feel like that's something that the interface is missing a lot.
The interface doesn't have this analytics section. This high level overview of your whole account is not something that Seller Center or the advertising console has. What they do have is this, which is the ad manager. So you just have the ability to see your campaigns. You can click on your campaign. You can click on, that was a sponsored brand. So this is all the keywords in the sponsored brand. You can click on if it has multiple ad groups, obviously, then you can click on, this only has one ad group, but you can click through the ad groups. You can do your optimizations here if you'd like. So we have all the same capabilities as Amazon does, as the console does as far as that goes. I think our ability to see our search terms is still much quicker than theirs. And obviously our ability to do the instant negative feature that I had just highlighted earlier
that's really awesome feature. Definitely.
Yeah, we have it in the campaign too. So it's not just, it's in the campaign, in the ad group, as well as at a high level, you can do the same kind of thing.
And being able to choose the campaign that like where to negate the keyword, that's really awesome.
Yeah, we automatically will look to see where else this search term is in relation to other keywords, which are in other ad groups and other campaigns. And we can do it all based on the time frame that you enter here. So obviously, the longer the time frame, the more data that you have. The great thing about ads too is that once brand new users come on board with us, we pull in 60 days worth of data, but we're saving this data for 2 years. So we're doing a rolling 2-year period. So users would be able to, that signed up earlier this year, in January, for example, when the first elite members could actually use ads, next January, they're going to be able to compare to see where they were. Like, this is where they were last year versus January of 2021, right? They're going to be able to compare data for season over season. Like if you have a seasonal product, only sells well in the summer, it'd be nice to look at data sets like this last summer and then do the same thing for this summer that just passed, for example.
That's a huge advantage.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not something that Amazon has. Amazon only goes back. Amazon keeps changing its parameters for how far it goes back. There's some things that are only 65 days now. I've seen 90 days for some reports.
Yeah.
I've seen 35 days for some reports. It's really weird. They keep changing it. But anyway, the maximum with them is always going to be 90 days, which obviously doesn't beat 2 years.
Yeah,
2 years worth
it's
of
so
data.
important. It's so valuable to be
Yeah.
able to compare uh, months like year over year.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a huge thing, especially like me as an agency owner can tell you like
Oh yeah.
that clients are always like we want to improve performance and so on. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
always good to compare like month over month, but like obviously January versus February, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like huge drop for like 50% of sellers or even
Oh yeah.
more. But like when you're able to compare like January and February, and then compare this February with the previous one,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Like you can see the growth and everything.
Yeah.
That's
Or not, right? You
yeah,
know,
or
if,
not.
yeah, if you see, at the end of the day, it's all about seeing your trends, right, and seeing what the trends are. And using ads, you can also see the trends of your organic sales, compared to your PPC. So, which is again something that the advertising console does not do. So, yeah, there's definitely some major benefits in being able to see your data the way we have it, not only in analytics, but also here in the ad manager. There's a lot more functionality that we have added. Users can, depending on the time frame, they can just look at, real quick trends to see what happened, like when the sales happened for that particular campaign during the time period that's been selected up here. But the thing I wanted to share with you after going through what an ad campaign is that we gave the ability to reset it. So like I said, if a user created a campaign in here, and they couldn't change anything. It was basically whatever the original parameters they put in here, that's what it was. So for the users that want to edit them now, we gave this reset functionality. And it basically just says, hey, let's pull this campaign that you created and reset it to default. So that's the cool thing that we opened up recently, so that users can not only edit the campaigns that are in maybe a campaign structure, but that they can also reset it. So this is the editing feature, which is new. So this is a campaign. This is a campaign I created in ads probably in February or March of this year. And these are the original parameters that I set up for the campaign back then. But actually, that's not true. So the original parameters I set for this were like 50% ACoS, because when you're launching campaigns, you should be more aggressive with your ACoS, right? Because the more aggressive you are, then the more search term data you're gonna go through, and then you can then optimize down. So actually, the ACoS for this originally were like 50% each, right? So I came back in now that we have this editing capability, and I reduced the ACoS closer to what the actual goal is, right? But the other thing I did was I turned on automation. So we added this functionality that now the parameters that I created for establishing negative keyword rules and new keyword rules, I can now automate. So previously in ads, bid suggestions, you can automate here. Bid suggestions are basically for all campaigns. Didn't matter if you built them in ads or not. It looks like I applied all the keyword suggestions. There's some. So bid suggestions for keywords were for everybody. Didn't matter if you had a campaign built in ads. So that was something we wanted to automate first and separately, because it was unique. Whereas the new keywords and the negative keywords were only if you built the campaigns in ads. So the bids is in the ad manager, a separate column for just saying, hey, I want to turn on automation. So the reason why I'm not seeing any bid suggestions here is because I have automation on. So I popped over here and I said, oh, I don't have any here because I applied them all. I didn't apply them all. Ads applied them because automation's on. So
yeah, that's perfect.
When automation's on, I'm not going to see them as a suggestion because they've already been applied. So that they actually just get recorded in our change log. So you'd be able to see add suggestion applied automatically. See, that's what all these are. Add suggestion applied automatically, manually. Yeah, and that's again just keyword bids. Let's see if I do have some enabled. That's still manual. So what were you gonna ask?
I want to ask. There is one question, and like I already know your answer, but I I want others to like hear it. It's day parting.
Yeah, no, it's not something that we do. It's potentially something down the line, but for most of our users are new and they're launching products.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to look at it from the lens of the point of PPC, especially when you're launching a product, is to get the data. And
Mm-hmm.
if you are day parting because let's say you're running out of budget at 7 a.m. every day, but that means you don't have the data then from 7 a.m. to midnight, right? So
Yeah.
we don't have day parting because users would end up just shutting off their budget then from midnight to 7 a.m. to see what they can get from 7 a.m. to midnight. And then you have an incomplete picture. You need full data sets at launch, especially to then be able to whittle down. Um, Again, a more advanced user, if they have all that data, if they've done the whittling down, if they know what their formula is for their product, their keyword, and the right bid, then day parting might be something that would be good for that. So it's potentially something we're looking at down the line to add to the roadmap.
So you think like in the future that is the thing that like people should do day parting?
Only if you absolutely know what your formula is, right? You've been running campaigns for a while, like, I don't know, a few months at least, minimum 3 months. If you know that this campaign, this keyword, this product does well, and it does well only at these times, or it seems to do well only at these times, then I would suggest it. But at the same time, that means then when you're off, you're giving your competitors the advantage to potentially when you turn your PPC campaigns off during that time frame, you're no longer branding during that time frame. And if your competitors are branding during the time that you're not, what users need to understand is that PPC is all about, a big part of PPC is about the consideration cycle. And what's the consideration cycle? It's how many times a new shopper sees your ad before they make a decision to purchase, right? So even though a person may be looking at 6 o'clock in the morning, and maybe that doesn't convert for you very well at 6 o'clock in the morning, but they come back and then they convert at 3, 5 after work, for example.
Mm-hmm.
If your ad is no longer appearing at that 6 o'clock in the morning, then you're not in that consideration cycle of that shopper to then come back later in the day and then buy it. So I don't really see the point. From a budget perspective of saving budget, I understand users trying to do that. But then again, like, it goes back to what I was saying before. You shouldn't be trying to look at what your results are just from your PPC. The goal is, what's my tacos? What's my total sales, right? So as long as your total sales, organic plus a PPC, that's what you should be. That's your benchmark. It shouldn't just be trying to get budget down just to lower this. It should be about, okay, what can I afford to throw at my PPC campaigns if my tacos is still low? If your tacos, like in this case, this account's doing amazing, right? It's got 6.64%.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Right. So in my mind, you can go up to 10%. 10% is really good. Up to 10% is good. I think 10 to 20% is actually still really good for tacos. But under 10%, I can double all the money in every single one of these campaigns right now, because I know that the total sales is so low. The ACoS is low too, but you know what I'm saying? It's like it's having a more holistic approach or view of your advertising. I think people who are trying to day part are having a narrow focus, and it's just about putting my money towards this time of day because I know that time of day converts best for you. Okay, well then you're not getting the data for the rest of the time of the day, and during the rest of the time of the day, your competitors are branding themselves, and you don't know how that's going to affect your consideration cycle down the line, which affects your organic sales.
basically, I just needed to let you like go through in depth and detail why you shouldn't do it, and you got to the point like to have like absolutely the same perspective as I do when it comes to day partying. And like as you mentioned, like when you have like tacos, it's a really low number. Like obviously, you want to have that number really low, but
Exactly.
there is one point. Like you're not Nike. You're not going to have that kind of brand awareness in life. Like I
Exactly.
hope that you are at some point, but
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
huge chance that you're not them.
And,
So
and that's why Nike pulled off Amazon, right? Because they realized they didn't need, I think they didn't need to be on Amazon because Nike's Nike. Everyone, if they want to go to Nike or buy Nike, they're going to go to Nike.com or someplace else.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, the point of PPC, the point of advertising is to brand your product. It's not necessary to make money off the PPC. That's the thing that people don't understand anymore, is that they're trying to make money off the PPC. And it's like, no, what's your total sales? What's your organic sales? That's what you should be looking at, because your PPC is about branding. And if your branding is off during certain parts of the day, it's like having a store. Like imagine having a brick and mortar store and they're just off during certain times of the day, even though they have foot traffic all day. Like if you have foot traffic going in front of your store 24 hours a day, even though it's lighter, maybe it's lighter foot traffic at 2 a.m. than at 2 p.m., but there's still traffic. There's still foot traffic. There's still people searching on Amazon at 2 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., doesn't matter. There's always foot traffic on Amazon. So if I had a store and I was on a street and there was always people walking by, you should always be open.
Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense, especially like because you don't need like physical people working in the store during the night.
Exactly.
Like
so your ads are kind of like your employees, standing on that street with a little sign saying, "Hey, come in, we have this deal." Right? That's all it is. Some people may come in, some people may not, because maybe it's not the right offer for them, whatever. They don't like the product. It's not as relevant. But if your little guy isn't on that street corner doing that, but the guy next door to you with the same store has a guy out there with that little sign, then they're going to get that. They're going to get that sale, or they're going to get that brand recognition. That person that's walking by, it's going to be like, oh, that's so and such a product, so and so product. I don't need that right now. I don't want that right now. But you put it in their head. That's the point of ads. That's the point of PPC.
Yeah, and like you talked about like PPC sales as a percentage of overall sales a couple of weeks ago, and like I talked to Sean Smith yesterday. He had like super fancy economics like term for it, and I just call it like cannibalizing organic sales with PPC. So I remember that you had something better than me.
Sure.
But yeah, like in total, when you do PPC and like you're pushing a lot, and like there is a point when you should like double check if your PPC is like stealing sales from organics. Sure. And like that's the point when you need to focus on other stuff in your business to increase your organic sales.
Yeah, if you've got keywords out there that you're organically ranked high for already, then yeah, maybe you don't need to push your sponsored brand ads for those particular keywords. But that's all about just Helium 10. We have keyword tracker. We have a keyword tracker tool. You can enter X amount of keywords. I think it's based on the plan level, but that tool will track the placement. Where you're at for organically and sponsored. So yeah, if you're already at that place that you're ranked high organically, then yeah, maybe you can cut back on your sponsored. But here's the point. The point I'm trying to make is that the PPC is the thing that helps you eventually become that organic. It helps increase that organic rate because it's creating the brand recognition, and then potentially people are coming back and then clicking on your product tile organically. You see what I'm saying? So it's still connected. so until you get there, right? So until you get to that place where all the keywords that you want to be relevant for are organic, then you should still be doing PPC on those keywords, right?
Can you suggest a new feature?
Sure. What's that?
Like for like when you go to ads and when you go to campaign and then to ad group, then to keywords, like can you click there and like add it to be tracked organically?
Yeah.
And like when you scroll above it to show us like a small graph or a number if it's like improving over time, in case you want to create like push campaigns to improve ranking for certain keywords.
Yeah,
that would be
like our trend line for our campaigns.
Yeah, that would be such an awesome feature, especially because keyword like tracking.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we could potentially do here, like within the campaign itself. That is a tool, another tool integration. Again, it's a Helium 10 tool.
Definitely. You have the tool already.
Yeah, we already have it. So now it's just about figuring out the integration into ads. Like I said, it's really going to be dependent on how quickly we work on integration between the ads platform and the Presses On platform on the back end. And as soon as that's all connected, then we're going to really start rolling out new feature. I've had that exact feature that you just said on my roadmap for a year.
Nice.
Like the reason I came to Helium 10 to do this PPC project is because I was already using those other tools too, right? I was a consultant for two and a half years helping Amazon sellers through their PPC. So I was already used to using Cerebro, Magnet, Keyword Tracker, Index Checker. So I was already used to using those tools. And then when I came and this offer was presented to me, I just said to myself, wow, okay, if we can build a PPC tool that does all the things that I'm doing manually, like all the search terms and all these rules that I'm talking about, which we've now automated, but then also does all these, includes all of these other integrations with these tools, this is going to be a kick-ass PPC tool. So that's why I'm here. So it's good to hear you have the same kind of thought process on other things that could be added to the tool. And yeah, it's coming. I won't say when again, because I can't ever. Sometimes I say, oh, well, I'll have this done by this, and then it doesn't happen. So, but that is the goal. It's definitely a goal. But just really quickly, just to close out what we were.
You want to move back to like your screen or like to see you?
Yeah, back to my screen.
Okay.
I'm sharing the ad manager page again. Can you see the ad manager page again?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I just wanted to share how, like before, when users would create campaigns, they couldn't really do anything, but now they can. So they can come in here, they can change the things, they can add automation if they want. But the cool thing is for campaigns that were not ever built in ads, which is this other account.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, we can now build that structure, right? So I can now say, hey, I have this campaign, and I want to actually just put this into a campaign structure. I'm going to be aggressive because this is a brand new structure. And then I'm going to add my negative keyword rules to this for this campaign, but also for the campaigns that follow. And the negative keyword rules are basically threshold clicks. It's how many clicks do you think a search term should have with no sales before you suggest it as a negative? Lazar, what's your input on that?
Well, it really depends on CPC and the spend and what are the margins, but like something that like
a general rule.
If I would like place an average general rule, maybe 7. I don't know.
Oh wow, 7. Okay, that's the lowest I've heard so far. So,
really?
Yeah, that's low. So I typically suggest 15, especially at launch, because just to be a little bit less aggressive. Cherie Yvette over at Urban Cowgirl says 10, definitely
okay.
10, and you say 7. So I'm gonna go with 10 because it's in the middle. It's in the middle. So just so the users are aware, what we're telling the tool is in this auto campaign, if we find a search term that has 10 clicks and no sales, we're going to say make it a negative. Or we have a threshold cost option too. So you can, depending on the cost of your product, you can be as aggressive or not as aggressive as you want to be. This product's $150, so I'm going to be aggressive and just say 75, so which is half of the price of that. So I'm not going to turn on automation right now because I actually want to see the suggestions first. But if I save the changes right here, I would essentially have just added negative keyword rules to this auto campaign, right? So ads would look at the search terms. If it had search terms with no sales after 10 clicks, it would say make it a negative. If it had a search term that spent $75 with no sales, it would say make that a negative. But the beauty of this is that you can actually not just add negative keyword rules, but you can add additional campaigns for keyword harvesting. Keyword harvesting simply means we're gonna look at the auto campaign. We're gonna look at the search terms. If it has some sales below the 50% mark that are based on the rules that I'm going to enter down here, then we're going to suggest it to be a keyword to this campaign. So I'm going to actually add it to this one because I know this is a broad keyword campaign. Broad. I'm going to set, and it's still an aggressive ACoS target. And then you could add, if I just wanted to add one, if I wanted to add, just a 2 campaign structure, I technically could do that. So this auto campaign is just recommending new keywords potentially for this campaign. But I'm going to go ahead and add a third. Let's see. I know one of these has an exact match group. No, maybe not that one. Yes. So I've essentially set this up the same way we build in our campaign builder. I have an auto campaign at the top. The keywords that we find or search terms that we find that could be good as keywords to target, we're going to recommend that to this broad-based ad group in this campaign. We're going to look at the search terms again from these broad keywords. If they're good, if they're under 50% mark, and under the parameters that we're going to set right now, I'm going to suggest that to be moved to this exact match campaign. So I just kind of wanted to show the users how you don't need to necessarily build the campaigns in ads anymore. You can actually just use this form to create the campaign flow and the structures that you want. So if you do want us to give you new keyword suggestions, you basically just enter these metrics here. Threshold sales is how many sales does a search term have under 50% before you're considered it to be a successful sale. I say minimum 2 because sometimes if you say just 1 sale, sometimes it's a
yeah, it can be a lot.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a random search term that it led to a sale. I'd love to actually be able to track how that happens sometimes because I've seen some random search terms that ended up a sale for a product and they don't have anything to do with each other. Like the search term sale, no, that has nothing to do with this product. So you see that every once in a while. So for me, it's safer to just say minimum 2 sales. As long as the search term has had 2 sales, okay, under 50% ACoS target, okay, I'm going to suggest that as a new keyword or as a keyword into the campaigin. So
there's something funny that sorry for interrupting. Like a year ago or so, I met guys from Finland or Estonia, and they built a tool that generated campaigns only from irrelevant search terms. And I'm like, why? And they're like, like sometimes you get like 1 sale out of nowhere, like out of pure luck. And imagine having like full set of campaigns that are generating sales out of pure luck. And like, I don't know. I didn't know what to say to that.
That doesn't make that wouldn't make any sense because if it's out of pure luck, then that means that you got the sale, sure, but you got that sale once. You're not going to, if you then focus on that search term that you got luck. Sure, you got lucky that you made a sale. It was a relevant search term. But to actually
I have no idea what they did. So it's like, okay.
To actually make that a target on purpose, that's dumb. I wouldn't do that. Listeners, don't do that. If you want to do that, sure, you can. You can just set this to 1. If you want to do that, if you want to make any sale, as long as the search term has at least 1 sale, hey, I want to make it a keyword, you can do that. But what I've seen is that those keywords that get pulled over sometimes, again, they're not relevant to the product because they were just a fluke sale. But now you're actually bidding on that keyword, and of course that keyword then never makes another sale. It just spends and spends because it was never the original intended search for that shopper.
Yeah, exactly.
The first time.
Exactly.
So the chances that it's going to be not an intended search result again for another shopper to lead to a sale is like slim to none. But technically, you can do that in ads. If you wanted to just set it to one sale, you could. I don't suggest it again because you can get those fluke sales from search terms. So I always set it to 2. And then you can see at the bottom here, it's just kind of giving you the flow. You've got your auto campaign on the top. You've got your the second campaign, and it's going to be suggested broad match keywords from the auto campaign. And then you've got your last campaign here, and it's we're directing the keyword from this campaign to this campaign, and those keywords are going to be exact match. So again, it follows the same flow as our campaign builder, so it makes it pretty simple for users to, especially our users who are used to building campaigns and ads, for them to be able to import or upload campaigns from Seller Central, the advertising console, and then create those rules themselves. And then once these rules are created, what these suggestions will then do is they're going to ads will generate suggestions, and then that's what's going to appear here on these pages. So you get bid suggestions based on the parameters you set. You get new keyword suggestions and negative keyword suggestions. These ones don't have any because I didn't have any structures built, but this one does. Oh, they don't because they're automated. So yeah, if it's on automation, they don't show here. This account, as you can tell, this account is fully automated. So there's no suggestions appearing because everything's automatically being recorded over here. Yeah.
From what I see, like the results are pretty good. ACUS is like under 10%, which is insane. So like I would keep it that way. Yeah. Once we literally have 2 more minutes before our next guest comes. Sorry for like interrupting, but we need to wrap up. Thank you so much for all the information that you shared and presented your tool. So give me just a second to switch to us. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, this is how you see that somebody's experienced with streaming. Like I have huge problems here with everything.
I use this tool weekly, StreamYard. Yeah, so it's a great platform.
Can you please like share? You mentioned that you have a promo currently running.
We do have a promo. I don't know where. Cassandra just told me that it was. It's on all our social media feeds. I just saw it actually earlier today. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, so basically, guys, go to Helium 10 Facebook group. Any of them, there are a bunch of them, or like a page.
You can do. Yeah, there's the Helium 10 Elite. There's Helium 10 High Rollers. There's Helium 10 just members. So all those Facebook groups, I believe members is open to view by anybody. But you have to actually be a member to join on. But it is it's at helium10.com. It's usually under offers. Let me just verify that right now. But yeah, so for people that don't have a membership that want to take advantage of our platinum level, which is our beginner kind of level, it's only $20 through the end of the day today. So
yeah, you have it on the website, like on the top.
Yeah, 2 days only. Yeah, if you just go to helium10.com, it says 2 days only, platinum for just $20 for your first month. Redeem now. So helium10.com, guys. And the cool thing about platinum is that you can still see a little bit of ads. So technically, ads is available for Diamond and Elite only, but as a platinum member, you will get access to the dashboard that I shared with you guys, and you'll also get access to the analytics. So the two top tabs, which are super important in being able to look at your data. You won't get access to any of the other pages in the tool, but you will get access to those 2 very, very important pages, which should be helpful.
If you want to risk, and if you want to get Diamond, send us an email to pdstream@sellersalley.com, and you have a chance to get 1 out of 5 Diamond plans that we're giving away.
Awesome. Thank you
so much, Winston. Thank you so much for being able to come to the stream on such a short notice.
You're welcome.
And have a good rest of Prime Day.
Yes, you too. Stay awake.
I will. Bye. Have a good
Take care.
one.